Hello and welcome to another edition of the O&G StrikeZone. Brian Fulford, Kelvin Rozier, Kofi Hemingway. It's good to be back. We're getting closer and closer. Students are moving on campus. Kelvin, Kofi, how you brothers doing?
Well, I guess you call Kelvin, but let me just say that moving in on the highest of Seven Hills is no joke. I moved my daughter in today, and it was hot, hot, hot. And, you know, now I will say that the staff was at FAMU is really cool, and they were very hospitable, and they were talking softly to us, which was good, because had they had yelled and screamed and been, it would have been a fight up out there. I'm just telling you, it was just too hot. But I'm happy to say that my daughter is moved in safely and soundly, and I'm excited about her being a Rattler this year.
All right, FAMU, hashtag FAMU25, is that right?
Absolutely.
Look, how do you compare it to your experiences? And did you go dad mode? Did you like share stories of what it was like when you moved in?
I didn't move in because I'm a Tally kid.
Okay.
So my experience was much, much different. In addition to that, I was in the band. Okay. So I was in the dorms, but I wasn't officially in the dorms. I was in the dorms because we had practice at 6 a.m. And then back in that time, we were getting off the field at 12, 1 o'clock at night. And then, you know, calling section, then wake you up at 5 a.m. for you to run around the campus at 6. You know, yeah, that was that 100, so to speak. So my experience was very, very different. You know, doing all of that and then going to the cave that was by the, you know, at the old cave where, you know, we had, it wasn't this gourmet food that they have it now, but breakfast was halfway decent, you know. We had a couple of little waffle irons and stuff that we could, you know, do our little stuff with. But these kids now, they got pastries, donuts, biscuits, grits, eggs, omelets if you want, you know, oatmeal. They got all that. They got choices. We didn't have those choices. Like, you finna eat these grits, these eggs. If you want cheese, bring your own. We got some salt and some pepper for you. And here's the serve for your waffle if you want it. And if you don't want it, go to McDonald's or something.
Hey, don't forget now, they got Chick-fil-A and Wingstop.
Bruh, I mean,
Starbucks,
they got good.
man, you know. Yeah, they living in luxury.
It's almost better than being at home.
Look, now when I was attending the pre-drill, I want to say about 3 or 4 years ago, I mean, the FAMU Cav has come a long way. They was doing oxtails and rice. And, you know, I was like, oxtail and rice. Then they had roast beef. They had baked chicken, fried, you know, of course, Fried Chicken Wednesday is still a part of the FAMU tradition. Fried Chicken Wednesday is still legit. I don't know if it's as good as FAMU high fried chicken Fridays and stuff that we used to have, but Fried Chicken Wednesday is very good on the highest of Seven Hills, trying to tell you.
Nice. Kelvin, any move-in memories as you got students moving in, any move-in memories that you want to share that you can recall?
No, you know, like Kofi, I was local, so I was home for the most part. And so, you know, it's a lot more organized and a lot more user-friendly now. Of course, you know, we were part of the old dorms, right? So there might have been window units at times and and elevators that didn't work.
Yeah.
My Lord, my God.
It was just a bit different.
Just a little different.
Yeah, no. I was part. Okay, so I guess me being the one who got to move in, I moved into Gibbs, and fortunately for me, I went to the summer session, the orientation. So I got a chance to get a taste of where everything was and what it was going to be like. That was interesting, and thankful to kind of see where the rooms were and what it was going. I had to kind of I planned it out. Even to this day, I don't like standing in lines. I don't, so as much as I could plan ahead, I did and tried to, and then just tried to tell my parents, my dad wasn't helping me move anything. He was like, no, that's your stuff. Go ahead. You can move your stuff up, that big trunk. Yeah, you go ahead and figure out a way or find one of these other brothers out here to help you out, and it was like, so I had to pack light with that trunk because I knew it was going to be just me carrying it, or either I had to get one of the little portable dollies. And so, moving up to the fifth floor was no joke. Fifth floor on the corner, though. Got the corner room, though. Made
My
sure.
God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, hey, we have to stay abreast on how things go for hashtag FAMU 25, the young Hemingway, and we get to follow along with this. So, good times and congratulations to all the new Rattlers, the transfers, as well as the new incoming freshmen. You guys be safe and enjoy Tallahassee. And hey, fellas, speaking of being safe, right now, we got to start the show and kind of just give our little public service announcement and remind people, because we are in Florida, and FAMU is in Tallahassee. It's in a hotbed state. And we gotta, we have to, regardless of even if we are vaccinated, we still might have to mask up. Kelvin, you were sharing some interesting numbers about things that you see in Leon County. You want to kind of share what you've seen recently from some numbers there?
Yes, Leon County Schools has a dashboard. And as of this morning, there was 641 people that's K through 12 that were in quarantine, and about 141, and that included staff as well as students that are positive, and that's within the first 3 days. Also in the Leon County, we're averaging about 21,000 new cases per week.
Yeah.
We're extremely high. And that's before the students moved in and were back. So, right. There's still a lot of concern about us getting through. We got a holiday weekend coming up. We got football coming up. Of course, now that the students will be back and moved in before classes start, you're going to have some social events where they congregate. I heard Florida State had something similar to that over the last day or two with their students, because they move-in started last Thursday. So, hopefully everybody will stay safe, stay diligent, wear their mask, get vaccinated, and hopefully, prediction is we won't hit our peak until September, late September, but we can put a dent in that and maybe change that narrative by being responsible.
Yeah, these first 2 weeks are going to be hot.
Yeah.
And let me just say this to those that are listening. If the virus is not going anywhere, just like the flu is here, sooner or later, you're going to have to encounter it. The best thing for you to do, in addition to wearing your mask and doing taking the necessary protocols to get vaccinated, please, please, please take your supplements, take your vitamins, do whatever you got to do to boost your immune system. Vitamin D, zinc, lysine, talk to a nutritionist, talk to your doctor about what they believe would be good for you. I am trying to tell you, of course, the best thing that you can do is boost your immune system to be able to withstand the interactions that you're going to have. Obviously, I'm in the school system. I work with a number of different kids on a daily basis who choose not to wear their masks, who love to come and hug you, who love to say, "Hey, Coach K, how you doing?" They love to do all of that stuff. What I'm telling you is, you know, do whatever you got to do to boost your immune system. It does work.
Yeah, well said. So, you know, obviously we mentioned all that at the start because that's a realistic concern. I mean, look, I brought it up a couple weeks ago. We understand what's at stake, and just in about 2 weeks, we'll be down in Miami Gardens. Hopefully, we'll be in Miami Gardens. We're praying that everything doesn't get crazy. You know,
people are actively looking at, you know, people that are comfortable are still coming. I'm going. People that are not comfortable are not going. They're looking to sell their tickets or do whatever. It's still going to be a great event. I don't foresee it would have to be a major catastrophic event for them to cancel or postpone this event because it's too big. It's a lot of money that's at stake.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. A lot of money involved in this thing right now.
They're trying to get this in cash. So, you know, that being said, you know, people just need to be responsible. Be responsible. Just because it's a party doesn't mean you got to go to the party. Just because it's a club don't mean you have to go to the club. Just because it's a Savoy don't mean you have to go to the Savoy, a lounge or wherever. Chill out. You know, play spades online, play bid whiz online, play Scrabble online. You can do that online, and I do it online, and I talk plenty of trash, plenty of noise. I keep it moving. And if I have to socialize, it's with a select group of people who happen to be vaccinated.
True, you just lost the young people, man. They don't know nothing about the Savoy or
I was talking to the old heads that's still on here and watching this out. When I go back and Savoy.
When I go back and look at the demographics on the show, it's going to skew one way now. I know that.
Watch this. Juke joint. All the juke joint people.
Oh hell! Now you just went a whole nother age bracket right there.
All the top flight people, where you at? Raise your hand. Put it out there. Top flight. Put it online. Top flight. Top flight. Top flight. Hashtag top flight.
Hey, look, what's interesting to bring all this up is as we get close to the Blossom Classic, Orange Blossom Classic, we're hoping what happened most recently, you saw the city of Montgomery, Alabama, decide to make the decision to limit activities surrounding they put a lot of investment in the 2-day football classic weekend going on in Montgomery, the Red Tails Classic. And then you also had the Red Tails Classic, I believe, was Tuskegee and Tuskegee and help me out here. Is it Fort Valley State? And then you had Alabama State and Miles playing the next day, something of that effect. I know Kofi's going to look that up for me to be exact, but it was basically 2 games, one on a Saturday, one on a Sunday. But all of the city of Montgomery has basically said that they don't want to have any post-game or no activities going on in their buildings that particular weekend. I mean, they're pretty much, you know, they're still letting people go to the game. They want to encourage people to go to the game, but they're just trying to limit the amount of places where, you know, you might potentially have some issues, right? So let's hope. I know there's a lot of people hoping to go down to South Florida and experience a great weekend. It'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. You know, and so we hope that none of those events get pulled off the shelf by the city of Miami Gardens or other organizations. You found it there, Kofi?
What was the name of it? It was the Red Tails football classic?
Yeah, you got the Red Tails Classic, and then the name of the other game escapes me. You know, if I had Drew with me, Drew would know it right off the back of his hands. You know, so I just can't think of it right off the top. But we'll come back. You know, we'll not.
Yes, it's Fort Valley.
Fort Valley and Tuskegee.
Tuskegee and Fort Valley.
Right, that's the Red Tails Classic, and then of course you had Miles taking on Alabama State as well. So that would have been you know, the games are still happening, so that's one thing that's happening. The crowds are still happening, so we know
and
that for sure.
People are going to. I don't know what the tailgating policy is going to be. That's probably the major concern. That's where that's really football in the South. That's the thing that you really, really look forward to is the tailgates, the fried fish, the smell of fried fish, fried chicken, crab rice, ribs, chicken, all of that stuff.
Crab rice. All right, you got to hit me to that. I'm not familiar.
Or you haven't had crab rice?
I'm open to anybody, whoever's having a tailgate and wants to introduce me to crab rice. I'm there. I'm just being honest. I don't look so amazed, Kofi. Stop it. All right, let me move on because that look, I feel like I missed out on something big time now. Like I haven't had a Krispy Kreme donut. That's how you looked at me. Like, what? You haven't had a Krispy Kreme donut? I mean, come on, B. What's wrong with you? Look, let's get into some of this talk. Remind you, make sure you're following the O&G StrikeZone. We are now on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at O&G StrikeZone. Make sure to head over to the Facebook page. Make sure you find us, join us, be a part of everything we do. Like and subscribe to shows that you find us on YouTube. We are exclusively on the BCSN PodZone. So whenever you want to find our shows, go to the BCSN PodZone everywhere that you listen to podcasts. Google, Apple, iHeart, we are there. Search BCSN PodZone. All of our YouTube, all of these shows, this video format, find it on our, again, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at O&G StrikeZone. All right, we got a lot to get into, fellas. Not a big day. We got some football talk. We've got some Marching 100 preseason stuff to talk about. We've got a volleyball interview coming up with head coach Gokhan Yilmaz. Gokhan Yilmaz will be joining us a little bit later here in the show. The volleyball season kicked off, and so we're getting a chance to talk with him. It's been, we talked about the football team has been off 620 days. Volleyball has been off just as long. So they're itching to get back on the court. We'll give an update on their first exhibition that they had against Florida State just the other day. Well, as of recording this, it just happened not too long ago. So we'll talk about that. Got some updated information on the FAMU men's basketball trip to Puerto Rico. That was real hush-hush, but we just had to do a little investigative reporting. So we're going to share some of that info with you. But let's get into talking about football, fellas. The first fall scrimmage in the books this past Saturday. Closed off to the public. Only a few media folks were there. And of course, coming out of that contest, it seemed like Coach Simmons was pretty happy with the way the scrimmage went. I believe they said they got about 100 plays or maybe close to 100 plays in. What are some of the impressions or first thoughts and takes that you have from the scrimmage, from the reports that we have? I'll start with you, Kelvin, and then go over to you, Kofi.
So I kind of pay attention to what the coaches are saying, especially the first week, that very first scrimmage. And I'll say that everything seemed to be going how I kind of expected it to go thus far. The coach talked about the offense and some pre-snap issues with penalties. And, he made mention of that. The quarterbacks, when they combine 23 of 33 for 310 yards, that's our top three quarterbacks. And with 4 touchdowns and only 1 interception. And then our first string quarterback, Mckay, he didn't have any turnovers, and he was 9-12, I think. So he was sharp, no turnovers. And I think that's going to be the formula, especially with the talent he has around him. They also mentioned about wide receiver Jamari Sherrod coming from Texas State. He caught 2 touchdown passes, and Rat Boys 2.0, they're loaded, and add another explosive weapon that can go the distance at any time. Really is going to be tough to contain. And then the other thing that stood out to me was the co-defense coordinator, Ryan Smith. He talked about he thought that they needed more reps in terms of tackling. He wasn't happy with the tackling at that scrimmage. And so I'm sure he'll definitely be addressing that. And then last but not least, we had a rookie that showed a flash.
Yeah.
And that was the running back, Deandre Francis, Rutgers grad. And he scored a couple of touchdowns also. One, he went about 70 yards untouched. And he also runs track. He's small in stature, as coach say, but I watched him in the state championship game last year against the, I think, 3-time defending state champions. And they knew he was going to get the ball, and he ran all over them too. So the kid is the real deal, and he's flashing already. So a lot to be happy about for a first scrimmage.
Right. Shout out to Deandre Francis. Followed us on Twitter right after that scrimmage. So, shout out to the young fella following the O&G StrikeZone. He knows, and we followed him right back. So, we got to give love to the young, the future. And we have to come up with a good name for him. But right now, we just going to call him the future, young Deandre Francis. Any surprises from you, Kelvin or Kofi? The fact that quarterback battle. I mean, we talked about a week ago, Rashawn, of course, Cameron Sapp, both of them took most of the reps, but also in that mix was the true freshman, Junior Maritovic from out of Wekiva High School. Not much about LaJohn Howard, who we kind of thought might be that third guy. Any surprises or thoughts there?
Not really. I mean, I met Maritovic this summer, and he has a ton of confidence, a ton of swag. He was on Twitter getting a lot of the guys that were here. He was here this summer. So he's been having an opportunity to really work with the guys. I want to say I'm not surprised, but just because you're not necessarily hearing about them doesn't necessarily mean that they're not doing a good job. A lot of people are looking. Obviously, the QB is going to get a ton of, attention on any team, but especially the QB at FAMU, just because of our tradition with our quarterback play, and because we're coming behind a season where Ryan Stanley has been the guy for really like 4 years, and we knew that. It's kind of like Tennessee was when Peyton Manning was there. I was like, oh God, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? But T. Martin stepped in. The boys went 11-0, and the rest is history. So
comparison you just made right there. But go ahead.
Okay. So, I'm saying that this is probably the most talented FAMU football squad since 1999. The Death Star is almost complete. So I am saying that to say I feel real good about our quarterback room, no matter who gets under center. If it is Rashawn Mckay, and I believe that it's probably going to be, if it's going to be Cameron Sapp, if it's going to be Maritovic, if it's going to be Howard, if it's going to be Jacory, if it's going to be any of those guys, this quarterback room is solid. They're fundamentally sound. It's just a matter of understanding the nuances of the offense so that you're not having to make delayed decisions when you're back behind the line and under pressure. So our guys are we have a ton of skill positions. I mean, man, we are freaking loaded just about everywhere. So
it's scary how loaded we are. It really is.
We are loaded. I'm just looking to see how that game action is going to be, because it's going to be intense and it's going to be a fast-paced game. And, it comes down to who's going to make the least amount of mistakes. But as far as like right now, my excitement and confidence level about Rattler football is high as it's ever been.
Any takeaways, any other takeaways from you, Kofi, or you, Kelvin, before we head to a break and just want to kind of wrap up? Any thoughts from practice, from the first scrimmage, and maybe what might you expect for the second, or what are you looking forward to out of the second?
The word is consistency. Any coach is going to look for consistency and to be at a different level competency as you go throughout your camp, the fluidity of your people, the comfortability of your people, and you want to see less mistakes. I always look at penalties. You know, I'm a Miami Dolphin fan. That's why I look funny at that Indianapolis coat hat you got in the back there. But I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, and Don Shula always had teams that were the least penalized team in the NFL, largely because he served on the competition committee. But they worked on that kind of thing so that they weren't making stupid penalties during the game. And if you watch the Patriots, the reason why they are so consistent is they understand, they limit their mistakes. They know what to do. They don't make dumb penalties most of the time. So these are the things that can turn a game on its ear. And I'm telling you, with these SWAC referees, you have got to be on your P's and Q's as much as you can, because they call you because a fly was on your helmet or something like that.
Kelvin, what do you got quickly?
Field goal kicker. I want to see that play out and see who's going to be our kickoff specialist. I didn't think that we got the ball deep enough consistently on our kickoffs, as well as field goal kicking. I want to see some consistency there. So we got a transfer from Delaware State. We got one guy who returning, and we got a freshman. So I'm trying. I think, you know, that's one of the holes I want to see cleared up. And then I think a quiet group. They're not quiet in scrimmages so far, but in terms of, you know, we talk about the skilled people and all the depth. This DB unit that we have, right? And we've got some transfers. We stayed adding to that room. They're going against the best, and I firmly believe that iron sharpens iron. So with that receiving core and those running back groups that they're going against practice and every day, they'll only get better. They're winning their share of battles already. And I think that's going to be maybe our second best unit behind the wide receiver group. And they have to play like that from week to week. But what I want to see this team do is continue to work hard, focus, and put in the work. Don't get caught up in this, you know, all the hype, right? It's going to be a lot of hype around it. Just continue to put in the work and stay hungry.
Right. Some good reports on FAMUathletics.com. I want to encourage you, if you haven't already been there, go check out some of the reports coming out of camp. They're doing a great job. The university is at providing some behind the scenes and some detailed coverage. And of course, you can always find coverage in a few other places, you know, behind a few paywalls. But if you want free coverage, go to FAMUathletics.com. And then, of course, come on to the O&G StrikeZone. Follow us. Make sure on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You know, we'll anytime we got some nuggets and information, we'll make sure to share it out. When we come back, we've got the head women or head volleyball coach. I shouldn't just say head women, but the head coach, the head volleyball coach, Coach Gokhan Yilmaz, coming up right after this break. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone with Bryan, Kelvin, Kofi. We'll be back right after these words. Support the Black College Sports Network so we can continue to provide you coverage. Go to myjbn.com/support and be a part of the Black College Sports Network.
Majesty is a premium health and wellness tea line focused on bringing delicious yet healthy tea blends to the community. Filled with an abundance of vitamins and antioxidants, we work to blend teas with exotic spices and fruits to produce scrumptious and wholesome beverages. So check us out at mymajesties.com. That's mymajesties.com. My Majesties, an Urban Passport member.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Ncaa Tournament of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan, Kelvin, Kofi, and join us right now, the head coach of our volleyball program, Coach Gokhan Yilmaz, who's joining us fresh off of the first exhibition game of the season for the Lady Rattlers going up against Florida State. Had a great game today, great exhibition. So we look forward to talking. We're going to talk to him about the upcoming season. But first off, Coach, thank you for joining us. How does it feel to be back on the court after 2 years of not being able to play?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's really exciting. My team was very excited to start playing, and they've shown a lot of character, sticking with it, practicing hard over the 2 years. It was very difficult for some of them, but we've been recruiting really well in the last 3 years. I think we put together a very nice team. And today's, especially first set, was a great testament for it. Florida State is a perennial top 25 team. It was a great game. And then we took a step back a little bit, but it's a learning curve. And we got to get people mashed together and play. But it was very promising. But one thing I have to say is it was a great crowd as well. The setup was great. I think the whole university is very excited to see us play. And that makes us even more excited.
Yeah, definitely. You guys were the first. You were almost like the official welcome back to campus party, because the first game, the first team to actually, have a game on campus in probably 2 years, guys? And has it been that long? Almost seems like forever.
Yep.
Yeah. So what was for you personally? What's been the toughest part of the last couple of years, or really since the end of 2019, and the way the season ended in 2019? What for you personally? What's been the toughest part of going through the past couple years?
Well, first up, I want to recognize one of our players, Rihanna Wilson. It's her birthday today, so happy birthday to Rihanna. Okay. The most difficult part is stay motivated. As coaches and players at this level, we all want to win. And the way we measure how we do is to have an opponent on the other side. And we kept recruiting really well, and we kept bringing really good kids. They would practice hard, but for one reason or another, it's COVID lately, that we couldn't end up competing. But we knew we had a very good team to compete for a conference championship 2 years ago, even this last year when it got shut down. We're on the same boat. But I think just finding that rhythm and understanding, it takes a different mentality to play against an opponent compared to being in practice. I think that will take some adjustment, but it was very promising today. I cannot give enough credit to our kids and our coaching staff for preparing us to play.
Kelvin, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. So I want you to kind of talk about your perception. What can we expect in terms of the SWAC conference, and what do you see as the biggest difference between the SWAC and the MEAC? And I noticed you got about 4 kids, 3 from Texas, I think, an Alabama kid from SWAC country on your current roster. I also noticed you got like 3 seniors or grad students, and then 7 juniors, then about 5 or 6 freshmen. So just kind of talk about going into this new conference, what your expectations are, and the makeup of your team.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be in SWAC. I think they have a great tradition in volleyball, and we're just here to add to that, honestly. I think it's going to be very competitive. There's teams that are used to winning. Jackson State, Alabama A&M are top of the conference. Arkansas Pine Bluff, very, very good coach there now. Big improvement this year, made it to the conference finals. And we see a lot of up and coming programs too. Grambling State, Prairie View, they all have done very well. So I'm expecting huge competition. Plus, we also bring Bethune-Cookman with us, which is always a tough team to play, either in Tallahassee or in Daytona. And one of the main differences is, we're not familiar with these teams, but they're very athletic. I think it's going to be a matter of learning how we travel to these towns. What do we need to do to be successful? Because it's one thing to play against Florida State, it's different makeup of players, but it's a different thing to play against Jackson State. Both are quality opponents, but the game and the makeup of the team can be slightly different. That's what we're looking at. From recruiting standpoint, I'm extremely happy. We've done a good job recruiting some Texas kids. We're seeing a lot of interest from Dallas, Houston, San Antonio kids. We also have, you're right, Kalia Todd, which is one of our freshmen, very highly recruited kid out of Birmingham. I think moving into SWAC helped us to get her here too. So it's opening up a lot of opportunities to the west of us, to the states that we're traveling now. So I think that's positive because, when you play in MEAC, it's not very realistic to get a kid from Washington, D.C. or Maryland from that area compared to somebody more so of a driving distance to us and understands what SWAC is all about, understands the rivalries, understands the homecoming and how everything works. So I'm very happy to be in SWAC.
Kofi, how about you? What you got?
Well, I absolutely love the sport of volleyball, and that was good. It's very exciting to see the crowd that came out today, as well as your feedback. So with being a volleyball coach, do y'all have the opportunity to review videotapes of other teams? Do y'all trade tapes just like they do with football? Or is that, or how do you all scout or strategize for an additional opponent?
Well, we moved to an online portal called Volleymetrics that every team in the country upload their matches, and it's broken down by each contact. So we're able to see every match that's played around the country. And we do some work with practice with those guys too. And our goal here eventually is to be successful in the NCAA tournament. We want to win a conference championship for sure, but we're also thinking about how we can be competitive in the first and second round of the NCAA tournament. So watching those opponents, knowing what they look like or what it takes to beat them is very valuable. So that's something we spend quite a bit of time every day, honestly, learning and just analyzing or maybe finding out some things that they do we can implement in our gym.
Absolutely. Wow. So what is what would you say the reception has been like for you and the volleyball program, considering just today? How are you enjoying the culture here on the highest of Seven Hills?
Well, I love it. I don't know if you know, I worked at Florida State a long time. I was the associate head coach there, helped them to establish a top 25 program and ended up being a head coach at FAMU. So I love it here in Tallahassee. I love the tradition. I tell our kids too, I also worked at University of Arkansas, but I've never seen people owning their school and being a part of it as much as FAMU does. So it's really good to see that ownership alumni has, current students have, even people that work on campus have that mom and daughter relationship between people. I think that makes a huge difference and helps us in recruiting because parents of the kids feel comfortable sending their kids to such an institution, knowing that not only coaches, but the entire institution will take care of their daughters. I think it's really fabulous, but today is a testament to what a great job our marketing did, what a great job our sports information did. It was a really nice crowd, being able to pull students there, and we were proud to be the first one playing, and I know the girls were very excited.
Right, and Coach, you guys are in the Lawson Center, and of course, where you are, you're in Gaither Gymnasium, which is now, for us, we're old school. We remember when everything was in Gaither Gym, but now Gaither Gym is like, that's home to the volleyball program now. And so when you get into those regular season SWAC matches, they're going to be right there behind you in Gaither Gym. And we are hoping that place is as loud as it used to be when we were on campus, because when that place gets rocking, that place gets rocking. So, we're going to be out there encouraging Rattler Nation on campus and in the community to get out to those SWAC matches, especially when we, have those contests against Jackson State. And, Jackson State's got this little winning streak going on right now, but we look forward to playing them. Talk a little bit about this contest today against Florida State. You mentioned the fact that, giving props to our marketing program, our marketing team, and everyone at athletics. This was a well-publicized game for us, even though we know it's an exhibition game. It's important for our community at FAMU to play this game. So, talk a little bit about your top performers today. We know you got out to a great start, winning that very first set of the season. It looked like, I don't know, maybe was it fatigue that kind of kicked in those later matches, or maybe just the adrenaline kind of wore off? What, just kind of, if you can summarize that today's experience, if you can.
Yeah, I want to go back to the Gaither Gym. This is why I came back here for the interview, and I want to give credit to Calvin Rozier. He was really instrumental in getting the floor done and helping us to move here. And we played a Bethune-Cookman match here. It was really electric here. It was really a great atmosphere. And our goal is to make FAMU Nation proud. So I think this will be a good thing for us to be able to play here. From the game standpoint, we have several returning players, and we also have some kids that we added this year. So we're expecting a lot. And I was telling our kids too, I feel like our 14th player this year is much better than our 7th or 8th player that was 3 years ago. And it's no knock on those groups, but it shows how well we recruited. And that's my job as a coach, to out-recruit everyone we have in the gym. And it's their job to make sure that's impossible, right? So that's what we keep trying to do. But from performance standpoint, we have Dominique Washington. That's a grad transfer to us from Georgia Tech. We're expecting her to do great things for us. We have several young ladies in the middle playing for our team. One of them is Isis Williams, going into her 3rd year. She's one of those kids that kept working hard, but it's the first time she's playing. This was her first official match, and she's starting her 5th semester here. We have a very good libero at Jessa Long. We added a couple of nice setters. One of them was not playing today. We're waiting for her to be cleared, hoping that she'll be available in the first match. But we can go name and name. We have a captain, Karina, that came back and did great things for us. Emerald Jacobs, one of the outsides that's playing out of Houston, also is on the track team, one of the faster girls in 400 and 200 in the conference. They all are stepping up, and our captains, Alexis Mann, Karina, and Isis, are doing a great job with leadership. The most important thing we keep emphasizing is it's a long season. We're going to play some bad games. We're going to play some bad sets. Today we played 1.5, below average set, but it's a matter of how much we improve with every contact, every practice, and that's what we're here to do. So it was optimistic from that sense, but also remembering we practiced twice yesterday. Kids are lifting. We have a very short window to prepare for the season. So fatigue might play into it, but I know we're going to play better. So now our job becomes how we replicate that first set and play that twice. And then towards the end of the season, play 3 times. So that's the mission, starting tonight with looking at video and coming up with a practice plan tomorrow.
Right. I just want to make sure, I just want to shout out your captains again. You said captains are number 3, Karina Presser, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Number 10, Isis Williams.
Isis Williams, correct.
And number 14, Alexis Mann.
Correct, yes.
All right. Well, definitely want to make sure we shout out those young ladies. And so, look, the SWAC already came out with their sort of their preseason, the first of two parts of their whole preseason thing for volleyball. Kind of to be expected. FAMU wasn't listed anywhere on any of the individual player stuff, but we know, look, we're new to the conference. We kind of know, they're not going to award us anything. But I am curious about, prior to 2020, the MEAC had picked us to finish second, I believe, in 2020. And, so unfortunately that season didn't happen. And now here we are. I don't know if you get into that whole preseason analysis stuff, but any thoughts on where you think we might be predicted as we come into this upcoming season?
Well, I want to give a little insight on how SWAC picks preseason all-conference players. If you make all-conference team the year before, and if you're a returning player, you're automatically preseason all-conference for the following year.
Okay,
and
right.
COVID,
same thing they do for football.
Yes,
okay.
COVID giving extra eligibility for all the kids, almost everybody returned.
Yeah.
And our players didn't have stats in the last 2 years, so we couldn't submit them for selection.
Mhm.
So I understand, and all of those are great players. I'm not saying we would have so many of them, but we still have very good group here. I told the team today, it's no knock on anybody on our group. We are going to face great competition, but how you finish is as important as how you start. So I think our goal is to put multiple players on those lists at the end of the year. And in order of finish, I would think we would be in top third. Again, it's going to be very difficult to vote us one way or another, because like I mentioned, we're bringing in a player, Kalia Todd from Birmingham. Not many people will know how good she is. Same thing with Dominique Washington coming in from Georgia Tech. People haven't seen her compete. Or Isis Williams, who's been here for 3 years, but haven't had a chance to compete. So I think it's going to be difficult, but I would expect us to be top 3. And we have to work our way up. We need to, again, improve every day. This is a long season. You need to play well at the end of November. And that's our goal at the moment.
All right. Kelvin and then Kofi, any final thoughts with Coach?
Coach, I know the work you put in, and I know you work with a lot of camps and everything, and I know the effort you put in over the last 2 or 3 years, even when we haven't been playing games. I want to wish you the best of luck. I know you're going to do great. I know the kids going to do great. And the one thing I would like for you to talk about real quick is the schedule. I know most of our home games are going to be in October. And then you got a lot of tournaments you playing in September. So just kind of talk about your schedule and your philosophy and putting that schedule together for this year.
Yeah, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, we also want to be successful in the Ncaa Tournament. This was a good start for us today. So what we do is the Ncaa Tournament in volleyball, first 2 rounds is regional. So we like to schedule regional competition to start with. And first weekend gives us an opportunity to play at South Alabama, which is usually a very good team. Charleston Southern is there. They do very well. Their coach is a former Power 5 coach, was at Mississippi State, was at UCA before then, great coach. So I think they're going to be very strong. And then we added Florida Gulf Coast, which is top 75 RPI Ncaa tournament team every year. We play FIU, another great in-state competition, and USC Upstate. And then we're going to go to College of Charleston, which is, again, Ncaa tournament team every year, to play Campbell there, which is picked second in Big South. So they're going to be very good. Their coach is also a good friend, was at Auburn a long time. So that brings us a different way of playing. And that tournament was valuable to us because it also has Idaho State. They bring a different regional play, which we normally don't see. And now we're going to go play at a Power 5 school at Auburn. And it was a great opportunity to go see what it looks like and have a shot at playing against a Power 5 school during the regular season. And we're thinking some of these teams are the ones we might see in the Ncaa tournament if we have to be there at the end of the year. So my goal is to stay within driving distance if possible, give us different styles of play. Auburn gives us all taller, big girls playing SEC volleyball compared to Campbell gives us, very crafty volleyball. That's different styles you have to defend. And I think it's very helpful to prepare for the conference because we are having to adjust and do different things and solve puzzles. So that's what I look at when I try to schedule. It's very difficult for home games this year. We usually try to do home and away with UNF, Jacksonville, Troy. COVID is still hitting the budget some, so we were unable to do those, but those should be on cue back on 2022 again.
Nice. Kofi, any final thoughts with Coach?
And Coach, I wish you the best of luck. You are amazing. It was great to hear your coaching philosophy and different things. How does Leon County match up with the rest of the state in regards to its level of volleyball competition on the high school level?
Well, it's a very good place. We qualify a lot of teams in juniors volleyball. So with USAV and AAU volleyball, Leon High School is very good. They win state championship pretty much every other year. They're up there in the Final Four quite a bit. Sneads High School to the west of us won 8 state championships in a row. So they're doing very well. Charles, Lincoln, very good schools. Florida High is now up there. We're actually recruiting a kid out of those guys. So it is very good volleyball level. And it helps us compare the kids that we see here to the kids we see in different states too. So that's the part. But our overall goal is to find the best possible players to make sure that we represent FAMU and our tradition to the best of our ability. And I think we and I think we put together a great team. Like I said, the girls are working really hard. I'm really, really proud of them at this point.
Keep striking, Coach. I'm excited to see what you all are going to bring to the table for Rattler Nation this year. Keep on striking. The best is yet to come.
We're here to make you all proud.
Well said. Well, hey, Coach, look, we want to keep up with the program. So every week, anytime we get an opportunity, I know, especially early on, you got tournaments on the weekend. So if we get a chance to catch up with you in the middle of the week or early in the week, we want to do that because we are here for all of our athletic programs at FAMU. And so we want to make sure we give our volleyball program as much love as everybody else. So anytime, you want to come on, you know how to reach Kelvin. I'm going to make sure you know how to reach me and Kofi. And, we're going to follow the program. We're going to pump up the program as much as we can. And we're going to wish you ladies and your team the most success. And hopefully I expect you to be back on, whether it be next week or the week after, right before or after that first tournament. Okay, Coach?
Absolutely. I'm up for the challenge. I'll be here anytime you guys call me on, and I'll keep sending you guys updates as well.
All right. And we definitely
appreciate your time.
Yeah, appreciate your time. Hey, go get some rest, Coach. It's been a busy day today. Congratulations on getting the first game under the belt, and best of luck the rest of the year. All right, Coach?
Thanks so much. Have a great evening. Thank you.
All right.
Let's go.
All right.
God bless you.
All right, Coach Gokhan Yilmaz, head coach, Florida A&M volleyball program. We'll be back right after these words. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan, Kelvin, Kofi with Coach Gokhan. Make sure you follow the Rattlers on social media at FAMU Volleyball on Twitter. All right, we'll be back right after these words. Follow the Black College Sports Network on social media at MyBCSN1, the number 1, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at MyBCSN1.
It was a monumental game for A&M and Tampa. It was a monumental game. Somebody had to lose, and thank God it was them this time.
We knew it was going to be a battle. Look at Jake Ave's record. 202 and 36, I think, some off-the-wall figures.
And nobody would play him because they didn't want to take a chance of getting beat. But the truth of it is,
over 46,000 tickets. Blacks were sitting on in the east stands. The whites were sitting in the west stands, and the score wound up 34-28.
The only thing we proved that we wasn't inferior, that we were not inferior, and we were not afraid.
For one night, for 160 minutes, we was better than them.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.